Hi there. My name is Tercy, and I'd like to welcome you to the Unreasonably Grateful podcast, Living in Grace by Choice. And I'm going to go ahead and finish out this year with that same introduction of taking a moment to thank you for being here. Those of you who have been with me for a couple of years now, and those of you who listen in occasionally, and especially you if this is your first time, however you found us, we're grateful that you're here. And I want to let you know that I appreciate and honor the opportunity to be a part of your journey and to have you be a part of mine. So thank you, thank you, thank you. On Tuesdays, if you go to my website, tercyenglehart.com, I offer an opportunity to work together in an individual session. And just to kind of clear up any mystery about what that is, it's really an opportunity for me to listen and then to repeat or recreate you based on what I hear and what I see. And experience has told me now over time that I always see you in a brighter light than you see yourself. That most of us deal with some kind of inner chatter that diminishes ourselves, oftentimes competes with others, judges and doesn't accept others as well as pieces of us. And so it's a really beautiful opportunity to get a new view of who you are, perhaps. And if that's something that interests you, then sign up on tercyenglehart.com, and I'll look forward to sitting with you and having a little bit more deeper conversation in a more one-on-one situation. So love to see you there. And for all of you who have signed up for that and filled out the feedback afterwards, thank you, thank you, thank you. It's been an honor and a privilege to be with you, especially in that way. Okay, so a reminder that I don't have your answers. You do. All of us are on our own journeys, and it's a journey. It's a lifelong journey. Sometimes I think people, they hope, and maybe they think that recovery is kind of one of those things that one and done. But I'm here to say my experience is that it's ongoing, that every situation, every relationship, every day is an opportunity to discover something more about ourselves, to heal perhaps past messages, past wounds, to recreate who we are more in the likeness of God, and to, just step into, the design that is you and uniquely you. And that takes a lifetime. So, I just want to remind you that listening to somebody else's story is simply an opportunity for you to pick up pieces of your puzzle and put them back together again, giving yourself the experience of being more whole and complete, fulfilled. All right, so this particular episode is called Getting Back on Track. And it actually came from a beautiful experience and conversation I had recently. And right now we're when this is going to be released, we're in the midst of closing out 2024. We're in a holiday season. And for people who are healing and recovering themselves, no matter what it is that you may be challenged by that keeps you from being completely present, that distracts you, whatever that might be, holidays and celebrations can be a particularly challenging time. Oftentimes more family gets together. And so some of those initial relationships that we learn from and we learn from throughout our life may come up and bring up old wounds. And so there are opportunities for us to test ourselves and see how far we've come. And then again, if it's food or alcohol or speaking up, any of those things, they can be so challenged during times of celebration, gift giving, large groups, family of origin, whatever it might be. So I want to share with you that what recovering, what healing, growth, awakening, expanding, learning how to love more fully, forgiving, what all of those take is oftentimes the experience that some days we do really well, and other days it feels like an uphill battle and we're sliding backwards. And when I talk to someone who's in the midst of the slide or the fall, it can be so frightening and so scary. And people will say things like, um, there's something wrong with me, or I'm broken, or I'm afraid I'm going to go back to how it was, or I can't keep this up. This is too hard. Um, some version of personal inadequacy. And what I want to say is that's great. And when I do say that, sometimes it feels inappropriate because the person doesn't feel great. And so I want to explain to you about what that means. When I say that that's great and you're doing great, even when it feels like you're backsliding, what I mean is it's great that you see it. It's great that you reach out for help. It's great that you recognize you're sliding. It's great that you no longer want to go in that direction. It's great that you're afraid of falling backwards because all of those indicate that you're committed to your growth, to your healing, to your transformation, to your recovery, however you might verbalize it. And that's great because you're catching yourself and you're speaking actually your commitment to a future that's different than your past. And you can hear the fight and you can hear the resolve and the commitment and the dedication. And it can be masked by fear, but that fear is actually saying, I no longer want it to go this way. And it's not, and it won't. And so I want to congratulate you and I want to set you up for this holiday time when you may have one of those tests and one of those days where it feels like you're backsliding. And what I want to encourage you to do is use the tools you have, slow it all down, breathe, get yourself back on track, and take the next step forward. It actually is an indication that you're doing a great job at your recovery or healing, or however you say that, at growing, at your awareness, at all those things, however you determine it. And so remember that. Remember that during these times that can be challenging, that when you slip and you catch yourself and the fear grips you and you panic and you're afraid, that's actually an indication that you're doing great. It's an indication that you have a commitment to it not going that way. And all there is to do is slow it down, breathe, do something that cares for you, and take the next step. Okay? And I'll be here next week. And I look forward to seeing you then. Have a beautiful, beautiful week. And remember to acknowledge how far you've come.